Man, oh man, it is a new season, it is a new episode, and it is a crew that you don't want to miss. Today, we're going to give you so many updates, so many greatness, and so many golden nuggets that we have learned over the last couple of weeks, really couple of months, that have gotten each one of us with a whole lot of momentum in our own lanes, and how we bring it together in a congruent, inclusive unit. This is your strategic partner show. Let's go, let's go.
Girls on me, on the dance floor, all eyes on me. Who will you see? Man, you better come get your girl dog. All eyes on me, party like a rock star. You can find me in VIP. All eyes on me, yeah, where the girls are. This is how your night should be. All eyes on me,
all eyes on the prize. Money supersized, G5 super fly, should be supervised. Do or die, open up your eyes, head to the sky. Keep a mean bad mommy on the side. Make a tsunami, kamikaze on the mind. Spit flow, paparazzi flash shine. Get dough, champagne, Merlot. Cash and tango, in the VIP. Now she wanna touch her ankle. Get low, mueve mami como el dembow. All eyes on me, peeping through the window. Get mine, get yours, believe it or not. In the meantime, I'ma keep my eyes on the
all
top.
eyes on me, drinks on me, girls on me, on the dance floor. All eyes on me, who will you see? Man, you better come get your girl dog. All eyes on me, party like a rock star. You can find me in VIP. All eyes on me, yeah, where the girls are. This is how your night should be.
All eyes on us, ladies and gentlemen. We are your strategic partners, and today we got the one and only Tokoyo Carlton from North Carolina and Debi Simons from Florida, and yours truly, Allie D, and we're back like we have never left. What's up? What's up, partners? How y'all doing today?
What's up, champ? What's up? Doing incredible. Go ahead. I'll go ahead.
Just fired up. Get to be here with my boys. I love it.
Ooh,
all right.
Get to be with my boys. Well, much love to Allie D, who could not be with us today. She's got her daughter's birthday, so mega shout out to her beautiful princess. But back to you, Tokoyo. How are you doing, man? How's your week?
Man, I'm doing incredible. We had an incredible, obviously we all are strategic partners within our own right within this community, but we all have other things that we do too as well. And you'll find it out here later in the show. But again, the whole thing is my company is doing some amazing things. And of course, we're launching amazing services this week, and people are super fired up. And I'm just glad to be part of the process. And so I send it back to you, sir.
Hey, Debi Simons, I know that you are working on a project of a lifetime. So how you doing? How was your weekend?
Man, my weekend was fantastic, right? But guess what? As an entrepreneur, right, I usually like to take Sundays off. Man, my weekend was fantastic, right? We're in a pressure cooker right now, right? We're in that moment as an entrepreneur. There was no Sunday off this week, right? And it's awesome. Yeah, fired up, excited.
Love it. Well, I actually had a busy weekend that actually started last week, having the privilege and the opportunity to work with the United States Army. And we did, I think, okay. I think we did okay that they invited us for a second time, not just for a branch that we worked with. Now we're expanding into multiple branches to help them out on their day-to-day motivation, training, discipline. And I'm not even gonna lie to you, I was a little bit, you're picking me to train you. You guys are like the ultimate discipline, and trainers. And when I ask, what do you need? They're like, motivation. I'm like, you need me to motivate you. So it was so exciting. And we're doing it again tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. Pacific. And we went on and I emceed an incredible event for a community called Driven that I had the opportunity to work with and launch them onto the horizon of greatness. And I've seen something that I have never, ever seen before, which is a super wrapped car with an NFT on it. And I've seen a friend of ours, Debi, Antoine Sims, who won a $350,000 car that, by the way, because everybody was minting the NFT that was on it, and I mean, it's instantly going in value, and in a year from now it'll probably be worth $3 million without driving it, without doing anything to it, just leaving it in a garage. So it's pretty awesome to have seen that. And I've seen a CEO for once who said, I'm going to do something, and he did it all beyond anyone's expectation. That's very, very rare, because a lot of people talk about it, very few are about it. And I got to not only open up for Neo, the Grammy Award singer. I got to party with him and hang out with him at nighttime. I got to see and hang out with a rapper, Too Short, which was too crazy, too gangster for this guy. and man, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I would pull my wife every time he comes around. I'm like, nope, not doing that. And you know me, I'm very comfortable.
Smooth, man. He's smooth.
My wife is my best friend, but I mean, no, he was, he comes from the late 80s, early 90s hip hop era where touching was like a thing. I'm like, it's a different generation now. You can't do that anymore. But it was just an unbelievably amazing, incredible event. And the company is gearing up to do $1 million in the first 3 days of business. So I think we did all right. And I'm very, very excited and motivated because it opened so many doors for me.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stepping on you.
Yeah, go for it.
On you. I am so proud of you.
You're
so proud of you. I'm going to tear up, and I don't care, people, because you owned it and you were right back where you belong. And I am so proud of you and the energy and everybody that was reaching out to me about you. Couldn't be prouder, and you deserve every bit of it.
You are far too kind. I so appreciate you. She is amazing in giving compliments, isn't she, Tokoyo?
Oh, absolutely. And I have to ditto her because, again, obviously, being on social media, you were posting everywhere. And if you wasn't posting, someone else was posting that was at that event. And, of course, just seeing my big bro, my little bro.
Little big brother.
Cases, I got to say big bro because sometimes I'm in a scenario where I'm talking to you, and because of all your extensive knowledge and everything you've gained over the last 14 years of business, you put yourself on such a pedestal that, again, someone who is actually older than you can take notes and, of course, see you as that person who's a big brother in their eye, even though I'm a lot older than you. But again, man, I appreciate you so much. And of course, I saw you shine. And that's all I ever want for any of us and everyone that we know personally is to shine. And you did that, brother.
Yeah.
You're too kind. You're too kind. I appreciate you. So let's get into it. Like, being a busy entrepreneur with multiple phases of our lives, like in every hour, we can be different individuals for different people around us or even for ourselves. And if you are watching, for that one person, let me know, do you find sometimes yourself wearing multiple hats? And sometimes it's a good thing if we can handle it. Sometimes not so much if we are overwhelmed. And by the way, tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you are not going to want to miss in our private community, Debi Salmons, who is bringing the heat, covering all the things that you need to know to stay on track, stay consistent, and of course, how to manage that power list, which is kind of like what we are opening up with right here, right now. If you are not part of our community just yet, go to im.media, click on ME Academy, and you can join us for $1.50 a day, or we can even show you how you can have access at $0 to you. So Tokoyo, you, out of everybody that I know, has mastered the craft of being the multiple individuals in one body. Can you give us an idea on how does that drive you? Because some people like myself, man, it drives me when my back is against the wall. And how does that allow you to be the great that you can be for your business and for your community? Because part of it is driving you to have the success that you're having with your own company right now. See if you can give us a little bit of context for those who are watching, because some people either shy away from it, can't handle it, or don't even bother. How do you do it, my man?
Good stuff. Well, listen, man. First of all, just to kind of, it's kind of hard sometimes when you start thinking about it, because so many people are starting businesses. And I was watching something on YouTube a little bit earlier, and it was talking about people having heart. I think whenever you start something, whether it be business, whether it be with your family, it's starting a marriage, it takes heart, right? Because you're dealing with another person, right? And then you have to kind of bring it together. Ali talked about him and his wife being friends. That takes heart. That takes something, because everybody's marriages don't work, and it takes work to keep everything together. And so that's a little segment. Let me get back to the question. So how do we do it? Well, first of all, I love the pressure. I love being my back against the wall. That's when I perform the best. And everyone doesn't have that intangible right away. Can everybody have it? Absolutely, but have to stay the course. So again, because of years and years of trying things and doing things and staying the course and, connecting with people who are a lot better than myself, right? And then positioning myself to be humble enough to learn from those people, it allowed me to see how they performed. And because I just followed the leader, I was able to have success in, businesses in the past. And of course, currently now, because we have something that's so big right now that we're launching, we have this incredible platform here. I am, and of course, being connected with Ali, being connected with Debi, being connected with Allie D, right? And so again, being with people who are better than you, it allows you to come out of that shell that you have. It allows you to be strong. It allows you to build that tough skin because you're able to watch greatness around you. So that's what I feel. That's what I have, and that's what's around me. So again, I've developed that bulletproof skin, that rhinoceros skin, that might, that armor. You can't tell me anything and break me down. You may be able to affect me for 2 seconds, but that's all you get. Once I catch it, it's over. Yeah. Right. And so those are the things that help people and help myself to actually, pull through and push through all the things that I have. And you said, well, hey, how do you juggle so many different things? Well, again, all those things, of course, Mr. Madawi here, right? What he said was he has 5 things, critical things that he has to do every day. And he makes sure before that day is over that he gets it done. So that's one way. Or again, you can have a calendar. I mean, you name it. There's so many different ways and platforms nowadays with technology that you can stay on track. But the main thing is keeping the main thing first.
Fact.
That's it. The main thing.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing that you said that I loved, and I kind of do the same thing. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and he sent me screenshots of conversations of somebody pretty much like just throwing jabs at me. And he handled it. It was like, hey, just FYI. And, he kind of got my back. I was like, yeah, I appreciate it. If I need to reach out to that individual just to kind of like make them feel whole in any way, shape, or form, I'm down. And he goes like, no, absolutely not. You don't have to. I'm like, yeah, because I have 2 superpowers. My very first superpower that I take pride in is I'm humble enough to take the rock and throw it at myself and be like, I want you to feel better. And I have intentional amnesia. Yeah. Man, I forget about that negative thing so quick and forever. Like, I'm like, amnesia, activate. Okay, I don't even remember what was in that screenshot and whatnot. And I love that about you. Debi, you not only have been going through a transition of finding your voice, finding your niche again, but you also are launching a project that could be really incredibly impactful and launching from the outside, looking in, essentially from the outside of the United States into the United States. So how do you keep your sanity without going crazy as you're transitioning, as you're finding your voice and launching a new project itself? Kind of enlighten those who are watching.
Oh, absolutely. And thank you, Tokoyo, because, I just want to say we must learn from each other continually. Right. We must be humble and big little brother. It doesn't matter. We've got to be open. Right. We've got to be open to everyone that has message. We cannot, eliminate somebody because of their age or anything of that nature. So how do you keep your sanity? Well, I'll tell you what, you have to pay attention or anything of that nature. I have to be super in tune right now with my emotional quotient. Right? Because I am in the middle of a huge launch, probably one of the biggest ever. I am so thrilled to be on this platform. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm actually, launching 2 others as well. So first of all, we're going to be heading into covering this. Shameless plug for our I Am Network training at 8 p.m. I'm going to be digging deep into how you manage it. This is one of the ways to manage it, because if you are just willy-nilly all over the place with your time and you don't know where you're going to be, you can't handle it. You can't keep it all up here and manage it. You've got to manage your time. You've got a time block. You got to know where you need to be, when you need to be there. And you've got to be able to take that hat off. Right? Okay, I'm not cooking now. Take the chef's hat off, put the other hat on. And like Tokoyo said, That takes some skill and it takes some time, right? But it takes personal growth and absolute intention of focusing on yourself. Like I have to keep the blinders on to what I'm doing to each project because it is big. And there's a big difference, guys. I'm going to tell you right now, when you're going global and international, I'll give you a little example. My business partner is originally from a country in Eurasia. So her first language is actually Russian, then Ukrainian, and she lives in Britain now. So we have to translate in her mind from Russian to Ukrainian to British English to American English, right? So there's a lot of moving pieces. But what can I tell you? Use a calendar, stay focused, keep those blinders on. That powerless, what we're going to talk about more, is vital. I have to know what I need to get done every day in each of my projects, right? You cannot, guys, if you just think you're going to get it done and you're going to be nonchalant about it, I'm going to suggest that that's when the stress hits. The way you keep the stress away is by controlling your time and your mind, right?
Me like it a lot. Yeah, no, that was good. So in times things get really, really challenging for us, and I know certainly for companies in the network marketing space, many bad partners, many bad circumstances, and it's hard to keep the faith. I'll share with you Antoine Sim's story, man. So this gentleman and I spoke a couple of weeks ago, and he's like, "Hey, man, I there's rumors that you're coming to Vegas." I'm like, "It is definitely rumored. I'm not sure what I'm doing, why, when, where, who, what." It's just everything was kind of like in question marks, if you will. And he was like, "Well, I'm really, really hoping. I'm not sure what to do." I'm like, "Dude, if you can, just go. Fill up your tank. Just go." And it worked out, and I ended up in Vegas. Gave him the biggest hug ever. He told me about his past experience and how bad he was impacted with, whom he thought was like a great friend of his and just ghosted him. And the last conversation was just basically trashing the environment in the company that he was going to be in and why he shouldn't be there. And our conversation was simple as this. This is on Friday, right? Dude, just have faith. You're here already. There is something that made you come in here. Like I'm a little skeptical. My wife and I feel good about it, but we're just not sure. I'm like, just trust the process. Have faith, and you never know what could happen.
Right.
He went on, out of humility of his heart, went to the staff and he said, "Hey, I'm here to volunteer." They gave him a t-shirt. He's registering people and, taking paper. He's just helping out in any shape. Now, mind you, this is a very successful entrepreneur outside the network marketing profession. And he's humbling himself, keeping the faith, and just showing up, right? And what was inspiring about it is most people in his circumstance, especially if you're making multiple six figures, you're like, "I don't need to come here. I don't need any network marketing gig. I don't need to take the time out of my family, my wife, hotels, like none of that stuff, right? I'm good. I'm okay." Most people in his circumstance will default back to just living a good life, right?
Right.
And on top of that, to humble himself and say, "Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Register here." And sometimes people get a little antsy and they start challenging. "Well, I registered, and you need to take a look at." And he's like, "Yes, I understand. I'm just telling you, like these are real situations." For him to humble himself still, right, and do all of that. Picking up the chairs and putting them on stage and like just things that most people are standoffish and would not want to do to begin with. Nevertheless, someone who's a multiple six-figure earner outside, just in the traditional world, real estate, and doing very well for himself.
I love it.
Well, Saturday comes around, still positive attitude. He's pumped up. He's excited. He introduced me to a gentleman that came with him, which he actually became a member of our IM community. We talked. I was like, "Hey, we got your back. We're going to help you out." Saturday afternoon, and, the event was supposed to be done by 5:00 as per the union. 5:15. The system is slow. It's not generating the winning number. 5:20. And the union are like, and I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen. If I tell you, I gave the union coffee and donuts and lunch and breakfast all day long. I'm like, just in case, we are best friends, and they were very kind, So anyways, 5:20 or whatever it was, his number comes up, and I just look And I'm like,
oh
my God,
man.
could you imagine if he didn't enough faith in himself or his wife, if he didn't have enough humility to still just show up, and if he didn't have enough faith in that there are still good people and good companies out there, he would have missed out on a 350,000 supercar that has a one and only NFT. I don't know if you all understand how the NFT world works, but there are multiple images of the same NFT, and that's what's called a very common NFT, meaning the value is very, very low, right? It's like the same silver chain that we can find in every Macy's. Then it goes up in grade to rare, ultra rare, and then legendary. Legendary means there is only one of it anywhere in the world. Well, that car that is a super car already, $350,000, has an NFT on it that is ultra legendary. It doesn't exist and it will never be duplicated ever again. So its value is ridiculously high, right? So I'm just proud not only of him, but as a reminder for everybody that's watching, sometimes you just need a little faith.
Yes.
Because had he not had that little faith and humility, not only he would have missed out on a $350,000 car, not only he would have missed out on a great opportunity for himself right now and his family, how he's been positioned, because there are perks that comes along with you know what he's gotten.
Yes.
So, you know, I want to kind of dig into your brains and ask you, how in the world have you kept the faith all these years after you've been not just punched? Sometimes we've been punched by the same person so many times, and we come back and knock on that person's door and like, hi, it's me again. Can you punch me, please? So how do you keep the faith? And let's start with you, Debbie, because I think it's something that is underrated and a lot of people don't pay attention to. Talk to us.
Yeah, it's a super, super topic. I'm going to go backwards on Antoine, though, because he is a mutual friend. And I will tell you that I had spoken to him as well about 3 weeks ago. And so let's add on top of what you already shared with the fact that he told me, that's my car. He was manifesting that car. So just want to add that. How do you keep the faith? Well, first of all, you've got to recognize, what are you keeping the faith in, right? I have faith in me. I have faith in my ability to take that punch. I have my faith in my ability to get back up after that punch. I have faith in my ability to trust that I can still make good connections, right? Because I think, maybe I'm wrong, but I think what often happens when we get punched or that feeling of betrayal is the first thing we do is we think, what's wrong with me? How did I not recognize this? How did I not see this, right? And that's usually the first thought we have. So we have to pause after we have that thought and slow down and breathe and go, no. You want to know why I don't see some things is because I choose to see the good in everyone. And what I know is that the industry that we're talking about, the network marketing industry, the model is superb, right? But it's always run by infallible human beings. And we're all infallible and we all make mistakes. So first and foremost, keep the faith in yourself. And if you don't have it, then that's why you surround yourself with good mentors, with community, with all the things we tell you, podcasts, books, to build that up so that your foundation has got to be you and your integrity. And as long as your core values are there, let me tell you what, anybody can do anything to me. I got my core values that don't budge depending upon what somebody else does.
Good stuff. So I concur.
I love that.
I love that. I just love that from that movie. Catch Me If You Can. He says when he's pretending to be a doctor, I concur. Do you concur? Yeah. So the whole thing is, I look at like when I first got introduced to the industry, right? And I remember going to a training. and of course, that's a clue and that's a hint right there. Training keeps you involved. Training keeps you equipped. Training keeps you motivated. Training keeps you going, right? Because you know better. And if you know better, you ought to what? Do better. And so here's what I learned very quickly from that training. They were talking about people quitting. They were talking about people, getting started in this opportunity or whatever. And before the ink has dried, they've already quit in their mind. Right? We see that, we've heard that, we've seen. I mean, guys, concur with me that you've seen that people literally have spent $1,000 and disappeared on you.
Yeah.
Literally, like spent $1,000 and disappeared. Never even opened up their website. Right? And so we know there's people out there. And what I found out about those people is that sometimes we can apply pressure, right? Because we're calling up, we're doing what we're supposed to do, we're following up. And those people say, you know what? I want to just get this guy off my back. And they'll sign up just to get you off your back. Doesn't matter that it was $1,000. They had the money to spend, right? But they didn't see value in what you were doing. And so I learned that a long time ago is that people will quit. People will join. But none of that has to do anything with you.
Yep.
Right. So the whole thing is, guys, understand this right here is that people quit on everything. We see people quit on church. We see people quit on relationships. We see people quit on jobs. You follow me? So again, as long as you as an entrepreneur understand that people will quit, just not let it be you. Right. And so that's what I learned, guys, just from that one training is that, again, people will quit and they'll quit early on. They'll quit 6 months from now, a year from now. We understood there would be people who would just come hang out with us for a while, right? Never even attempt to do the business. They just want to hang out because they love the associations.
That is so funny that you said that, Tokoyo. There were a few people that I've seen, there was a VIP parties and whatnot. And I mean, there was this dude, literally, he was so hammered, there's always that one guy. He was so hammered, shoes off, just in the dance floor with shoes off. And just you can tell something is off, right? Like he's not all the way in there for business. And I saw him the next day. I'm like, hey, like I saw you shoes off, man. You were having a blast. He's like, man, I live for this. I'm like, what, for the party? He's like, yeah, be honest with you, I sign up just so I can have you guys to hang out with every couple of months. And I was like, wow, he's serious too. Like, it's not a joke. You're right. There are some people, unfortunately, that would literally sign up to buy friends, just to have that. And don't get me wrong. One of my favorite things is the social, aspect of the network marketing space, right? You get to meet people, like you go in a place where there are happy people, excited people who support one another, and then they want to party together. Sign me up any day for that, right? But don't forget why you signed up in the first place. The presentation didn't say we're gonna party on a Friday night. That was not what the presentation was all about. So it's so spot on. Let me go back to you, Tokoyo, and I want to ask. Many times we put a doubt in our heads, and I have many people who ask me, man, how do you do it? How do you stay so positive? Like if I can just brag for a second, usually the first 10 to 30 seconds before I get on stage, I get I don't know what to expect thing, right? Like, are they gonna react with love? And for the very first time, man, I was in Vegas, dude. I walked out like I knew I'm about to own this stage. And I got a little bit of a video that I'm going to show you guys in a little bit of a tiny itty bit of Allie in action. And I was like, because I'll be honest with you, I haven't felt as good, happy, and excited about doing something as I was when I was in Las Vegas. Like for the first time, I felt it again, man. I went behind that stage after I opened up, and I'm like, yeah, I was born for this. Like I told myself. Yes. I was born for this, even my wife, she was like, you killed it. Like you can tell something was different about it today. And I just felt good, man. I felt loved and I loved, and it was just amazing. So Tokoyo, is there a process to staying motivated? Is there a process to removing those doubts from your head? And by the way, don't forget everybody, IM.media. Make sure, like if you're enjoying this conversation, imagine having access to all of these strategic partners all day, every day. private coaching sessions, and so much more. Tools, resources to start, grow, and scale a business. And for $1.50 a day, or even for free if you want it, we can show you how to do that. Tokoyo, talk to us, my man.
Good stuff. So listen, we've all kind of threw out the hint. We've all threw out the nuggets, if you will. And so I was told a long time ago, guys, follow the nuggets. Follow, take a good note, first of all. Make sure you're around the right people, right? Which is these people that you're listening to. These are some of the right people. There's so many, countless other people that you can plug into so you can develop that tough skin. I said that earlier. So again, how do we stay positive constantly? Well, first of all, I don't attract negative because that's just not my personality, first of all. And if I find that you're negative, I start to distance myself from you. That's one of the things that, again, that helps me keep my armor strong, is because I don't want to keep getting, chips and notches into my armor because I'm around people who are constantly, being negative or what was me, or telling me the sob stories and all that stuff. And that's okay if you're willing to fix it. Don't come to me with a problem, but you're not willing to solve it. So again, that's one thing for me as far as keeping the right people in my circle. Again, I may have that one person in my life and I may not be able to avoid them because it's maybe family, right? But for the most part, everyone I know is entrenched in personal development. Everybody, anybody who I call a friend, anybody who I associate with, anytime, anybody I feel spend a good amount of time with is developed in personal development. They watch the tapes, they watch the videos, they go to the events, they talk the same talk. So again, if you want to find that intangible thing in yourself, and maybe you're saying, I don't have the motivation, I don't have the this or that, or get around people who do. Yep. That's the key. So early on, I was able, because I had no experience in this industry, because I had no experience in business, because I had no experience about getting on stage, I saw other people I was able to emulate, right? So again, I get around an Ali Madao. We get on on a Zoom or a Messenger or on a cell phone, and we start talking. And guys, he helps me more than he even knows. And Debi, I know you can say the same thing about not just Ali, but everybody that you look up to as a mentor. You got to have those conversations with people that sometimes when you're going through something, when you get on the phone with them, everything changes. So even the people like myself and Ali and Debi who are well equipped to take whatever you give us, we have our moments, but we know who to call.
Yeah, which, speaking of a call, Tokoyo, I owe you a phone call back tomorrow at 10:30.
Yeah, I was hurting yesterday, man. So I went to
yesterday.
Oh, did he diss you, Tokoyo?
He's like, hey man, let's catch up. He just wanted to show me love, and I was like, bruh, I just came back. I'm swamped. I'm just trying to get everything back in order. And then today, as you guys and Wednesday is cray cray. I'll call you tomorrow.
Let me hop in real quick. This is a what he just said is a lesson. What happened between both of us is a lesson. I can't tell you how many people over the years who have felt neglected because they weren't able to get your attention when they wanted it.
Yes.
But not knowing and understanding that their team and their dream is so much bigger and there's so many moving parts to it. You're just one piece in the cog. So I've always told Ali, if you don't hit me back, I understand why, because I know your mission's bigger. I know you're serving more people. And so again, that's the lesson for you right there, just from that little conversation, that it's not all about you. Yes. Right. And again, just be patient, be humble. And again, understand that, hey, listen, if that person that you're looking up to, that person that you want to work with, that person that you look for leadership and guidance isn't available, all I need you to do is say, you know what? I understand he's building something big. And then all you got to do is make sure, again, without being annoying, right? Shoot him a little shot. Hey, just nudge real quick. When you get a chance, can we speak? Because I've had just recently a few conversations with folks, and it's like, I couldn't get to you right then and there. And they went off on me, like in text messages, like long messages. And I'm like, what do you do? What do you say to that? So again, guys, it's about building tough skin, because I could allow that and I could go back and say something crazy. You're right. Because I felt, a little bit, aside with what they said. But I understand that that's just someone who needs my attention, needs my help. but at the same time, I wasn't available, and I had to go back and have that conversation with them and say, hey, listen, just going forward, just text me. And again, I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I apologize for not being readily available for you when you needed me.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that's 100%. And I'm again really apologizing. I will make it up to you tomorrow. Debi, talk to us. How do you keep the mindset on a go mode when you feel like you got punched repeatedly?
Well, first, Tokoyo, I concur. I concur, right? Well, everything he said, and I'll add to that what we're doing right now. What we're doing. When I am stuck in my own head, and I'm suddenly the world is all about me, and it's all about me. Guess what you do? You go serve someone else. Get out of yourself.
Facts.
Go serve, right? And if you're serving someone and you truly love and care about the personal growth of that person, and I do, and I'm teaching these things, guess what? When I teach them, they're reinforced in me. They're reinforced in me. The lessons are reinforced every time I share them with another person. And so that's what's important for the newest person that's never been into personal growth. And, you start going into personal growth, and it's almost like walking into someplace that's speaking a totally different language. If you've never been in develop, you're going, whoa, what are these people talking about? Because we look at the world differently. And so you can't walk into that and be right where I'm at. I've been at personal growth and development for 35 years. If you've been at it for 35 minutes, I sure hope you're not at the same level I'm at, right? So we meet people where they're at, and we encourage them and love them and edify them for every teeny step up that ladder. And I had a moment, the pressure was getting to me a bit that we're talking about. So I call it my toolbox. I have my toolbox of things that I go through rapidly to get myself out of it, right? For me, it happens to be a pause, meditate, prayer. If I'm still feeling it, I have people that I call my mentors, my go-to people. You've got to have those tools to get you through it, right? I have rhino skin like you, Tokoyo, because we've built it up. But I wasn't born with rhino skin. I had to get the tools and thicken it up. But my number one tool, serve others. And that keeps you on the path. Back to you, my friend.
Gustav.
That was dope. That was really, really good. Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
I concur.
Yeah. Hey, I concur. Hey, I announced shameless plug. I announced earlier this morning, and that's because I learned. And for those of you, anybody who is an author or you're going to release a product, don't wait until it's ready. So I talked about it in my stories earlier this morning. I started writing a book a couple of weeks ago, and it's not going to be released probably until sometimes in the first quarter of 2023. It is the most personal book that I will ever. I'm even scared when I read it a couple of times. I've worked on it a couple of times, worked on the title a couple of times. Let me just put it like this. The first book I've ever written was The Lion Network Marketer, and it was just a small starting, my first book, right, if you will. And I wrote the second version of it, which was the audiobook, which was double the chapters. For every chapter from 2017, I wrote a chapter for 2020. And that was great. Well, if you combine the amount of content of both books, it comes about 250 pages for the first original book, The Lion Network Marketer, and the second one, the audiobook. And I am at the third chapter out of 24 or 25 chapters that I anticipated. And I have more content than those combined. And I'm excited about it because I'm including my family's stories in them. I'm asking my mother about her side of the story, my sisters. And every time I'm including them, the healing that automatically happens for a shattered family that we once upon a time were. It's a story about child molestation. It's a story about family abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, religious abuse. It is a story about homelessness. It is a story about cheating, backstabbing, lying, all those bad things. And every member of the family that did all of it are one united, happy family today that never miss a holiday, that always love on each other, that support one another. So there is a miracle out of the chaos and the craziness. And I'm not only proud of this family that we kept it together and support one another, but I want to share, because there are many individuals and or families out there that may be going through the same thing. And we agreed that the official title of the book is going to be called Forgivable Sins, which I'm excited about. The reason that is, by the way, so every holy book, the Quran, the Torah, the Bible, it talks about unforgivable sins. There is a way to forgiveness and redemption, but there are no forgivable sins. No, there's no book that says, okay, you can do this one and I'll forgive you. You can go ahead and kill somebody and you'll be okay. So it kind of came straight to the head of, every sin you can think of was made, including by myself. But we as a family said, that is a forgivable sin. I am willing to forgive you for that, however bad it was. And I cannot wait to share it with the world.
I can't wait. We get an advanced copy, right?
You will, because not only I'm gonna need feedback, but you guys are insiders, so you're gonna get, and I will be releasing the audiobook and the hard copy on the same exact date to be determined, but I know it's going to be first quarter 2023, and I'm very, very, very excited about that. But anyways, let's get back into the show. So Mr. Tokoyo Carlton, I would love for you if you can bless us with the golden nuggets, with the love that you present every single week, with a segment that you launched a couple of weeks ago, and it's becoming not only one of my favorites, but many other individuals' favorites, and that is a motivational moment. Take it away, partner, and talk to me and to the people.
Good stuff. So this is coming right off the dome, guys. I didn't prepare for this as far as having a story, because sometimes I love listening to our conversation, and then I can take that and mold that into something motivational. We talked about people who are struggling to find motivation. We talked about people who are looking for ways to, make it through their day-to-day lives. And so here's what I want to tell you. I want to tell you that everyone that's listening today, everyone who will listen to the recording, that everything that you want in life, you can have it. Matter of fact, you deserve it. And the reason why I say that is because all it takes is for you to get connected. All it takes is for you to go out and talk to people who have your best interests at hand. And so you say, well, hey, I don't know anyone like that. Well, guys, all I can tell you is simply this. That's why they've created YouTube. That's why they've created Facebook, and you can look up your favorite motivational speakers. You can look up your favorite actor who has that great thing to tell and instill in you guys. Or you can look up an Ali Madawi or a Debi or Allie D. You can look up those people who, again, will speak that life into you. And so sometimes, guys, understand, you're only in the situation that you're in because you choose to go through it by yourself. See, guys, that's a choice. And so again, if you want to change things, you got to change things, inside and outside. So change the people around you. So if it's the people that's putting you down, if it's the work, job that's putting you down, whatever it is in your life, guys, understand you can still be at that job and be miserable. But understand this, you can still be at that job and find a source that, again, can uplift you, that can motivate you, that can put you on the right path. You can start listening to audios every single morning right before you go to work. And guess what? Your armor every day is going to get lifted. It's going to start to get harder and harder. And again, at some point, you're going to walk in there and everything's going to be popping off your chest, right? It's going to be popping off your chest. You're going to be wiping them off your shoulder just like that. Because simply you've built up the armor that you needed to go through that day at work. You built up that armor to deal with that person who's stressing you out every day, who's talking negatively about you, who says you're not going to do it and that you'll never be able to do it, or you'll never accomplish your goals. Guys, understand that's their opinion, but again, has nothing to do with you. This is how you change it. You get connected. You get into a group or community like I am. You start connecting with people like Debi. You start connecting with Ali. You start connecting with the Tokoyo Carlton. You start connecting with people who have your best interests at hand. And listen, even the people that you don't know that become your person that you listen to, maybe listen to the hip hop preacher, right? I know every single morning when I wake up now, that's my guy. I know he's going to give me that energy every single time. And so again, I have a video that I watch on YouTube. That video is only about 5 to 10 minutes long usually. And of course, he's in there, he's doing his things, his video demonstrations. There's also him doing his speaking. And guys, if you just listen to him, right? And again, I'm just saying him for me example. You can look at him and listen to him as well. But there's so many other people. If you don't relate to him, there's so many other people that you can relate to who you can find. And again, let that seek into your body. Let it seek into your mind. Let it seek into your soul. And then, of course, once you've done that, guys, you can't go back. See, once you've grown, once you've gotten out of your shell, guys, you can never go back to the same form. Let me repeat that. Once you've grown, guys, once you understand what it takes to grow in life and associate with the right people, you can never go back to that same person you were. Why? Because again, now you've been equipped. Now you've been instilled with something better. You've been instilled with, certain powers that again, everyone possesses. You just got to go claim it. You just have to go find it. That's all it is. And so again, with that, guys, it's been a motivational moment, and I will send it back to our host.
I'm ready to go. Tokoyo Carlton, always bringing the heat, man. I so appreciate you. And just a reminder, Debi Simons is going to be blessing us at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is in 1 hour and about 10 minutes. If you are not a member, it costs you $1.50 a day to try us out. And even more so, you can even have access for free. If you want us, we can show you how to do so. Tonight, she's going to be bringing the heat. You're talking about 30 years experience in the business space. And everything you could imagine that is hard or she has to overcome, she's going to be providing it to you to learn consistency and, of course, how to leverage that power list. Now, I'm going to take a selfish moment and I'm going to give you guys a little, just because you missed me, on when I was in Vegas, I'm going to give you a little bit of a sneak peek, like literally maybe a quick 30 seconds of how I was in my element, because when I got behind the stage and I was like, man, I belong here. This is what I do, baby. I want to share it with you guys because not only you're my partners, but I just looked happy, and I think it's a moment that I want to share with you guys. So let me go ahead and play it. Give me a second. Share screen, and here we go.
Daddy Yankee. Show us love, 'cause they know how worldwide.
Yo, Driven, what's up? Y'all ready or ready?
We're making it hot, dinero, no vamos a parar. We're making it hot.
Let's go, I want the energy, baby. You ready? Where you at? Hey, who's making it hot? I see you. Let's go, baby. We're in Vegas and we're about to bring the heat. Hey. No vamos a parar. ¿Dónde está mi gente latino? Where you at? I can't hear you. Hey, who's singing that McLaren today? I hear somebody is due a car key today. Anybody? Yeah, I don't know, but is anybody taking that beauty right there? I thought so. Ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a treat. If you thought yesterday was, oh my goodness, today it is a double OMG. Yes, I said it. And we're going to say goodbye to that beauty over there. But you're going to even have a whole lot more of value information. All right. Let me get back to you guys.
Oh, come on. I'm still dancing. I love it.
I know. That's your boy, Ali Badawi, doing what he does best. I am so excited. And again, I'm grateful for the Driven community, obviously, for giving me the opportunity to MC and do what I do best. But I want to take a selfish moment and share with you that, Will Smith kind of messed up last week, right? And you heard Denzel say, at your highest moment, right, the devil is going to come for you, right?
Oh. Mm-hmm.
For me, I had a blessing. See, there were a few people that I've done business with in the past, and I kind of got entangled in their drama and their negativity in a couple of months. And I saw one, like on Wednesday. And I mean, it was like, not for me, but for the other person, it's like, oh my God, that's the guy that I was talking crap about all this time. And I was so proud of myself. I came and I opened both of arms and I gave the biggest hug you can ever imagine. I said, hey, I'm so happy for you. You look so happy. I'm so excited for you. You have so many amazing things ahead of you. And I just walked away. And I was like, man, that felt good. I felt like dancing salsa after that. It was amazing, right? The second person I saw behind stage and I just tapped on day one. I'm like, hey, you got a minute? And the person was like, yeah, what's up? I'm like, listen, I don't know what I did, how I did it, when I did it, or what you heard, or I just don't know what happened. But I know how you feel and what you said. And I wanted to take a moment and just share with you from man to man that I respect you, that I appreciate you, and it's a privilege to have an opportunity to tell you this to your face. And if I can have at any point today or tomorrow, maybe 5 minutes that you can give me a chance to say, Ali, here's how you messed up and how I want you to fix it, man, I'll do whatever it takes. If you're okay with that, of course. The person looked at me and said, yeah, no doubt. We could definitely do that. I'm like, I really just want to make it right for you, no matter what it is. And he went on to say immediately, you just did.
That's it. And that's what I was going to say.
So no matter how tough, no matter how crazy, no matter how ugly people can get, just understand that person may be in a bad spot. And I don't think people intentionally want to be bad. I really don't think so. There's something usually that triggers that person to act a certain behavior. And I kept that in mind. I told myself, I knew I was going to face everybody. And I told myself, if I find those two individuals, man, I'm going to give them the biggest hug ever. It was an opportunity for me to bless somebody with the love that they were missing, because what that anger just means that you're not loved enough in some way, shape, or form. And I'm just so grateful to God that mama raised me right. And I had the opportunity to make it right for somebody without even saying anything. Another person, not only I fixed it with them, made them feel better, but I put them on stage and I made them look like superheroes. And man, the whole time I'm like, say it with your chest, Sally. Say it with your chest, man. It was such a good feeling. Yeah, it was such a good feeling.
But you know what, man? You went there for a gig, right? Obviously, right? You got, taken care of to be there, and someone saw and thought highly enough to have you there to speak.
Amen.
But the thing was, why you had that different energy, first of all, it was a different crowd. That was number one. Second thing is that you, probably in the back of your mind, you had that whole thing was, I just want to get clear so I can get this off my conscience. And once that was cleared, once that was lifted, it allowed you to say, you know what? I'm Ali Madawi, and I'm about to bring this house down.
100%. And I think that probably had a lot to do with it, because I didn't get on that stage until I had those conversations. So I walked out there and I'm like, it is my world now, because I think, me personally, like, you can't hurt me. Like, no one can hurt me. Really, for real. Like, no one can hurt me. And, I'm not just saying physically, like, yeah, the physical pain sometimes, somebody hit you in the face, you're going to get hurt for a moment, it goes away. But you can never hurt me as a person, because the system that I operate with, man, it is so fueled with love. Like, you can slap me and your hand is going to be felt so beautiful, and it's going to be like you put the best moisturizing cream on it. That's how full of love I am, and I take pride in that. And of course, that little bit of intentional amnesia. Like, I forgot about anything they said immediately. I was like, they never said anything. Just keep it growing.
When you started talking, I just imagine you being that 50 Cent moment when he has the vest on at the movie. Right?
Yeah. I took it off and dropped it. It's like
this.
You can't hurt me anymore. I'm not. Yeah. That was it. That was literally my moment.
I've taught my children, and I try to live by this. And basically, this is what you're living by, is I keep my side of the street clean.
Yeah.
Keep your side of the street clean, and always offer love back. Because if you want love in return, you can't offer ugly. If you're putting out ugly, you're going to get ugly back. Right? So you've got to put out into the world what you want to return. I don't care how many times you get kicked. keep putting it out there because that's who you are, right? And if you're about love and you're keeping your side of the street clean, then that's how you walk out on stage and you pump out, because you know, like you know, right? It eases so much tension in life when you are keeping your side of the street clean and living by your core values and not blurring them. And then when there is an issue, stepping out and being the one that offers that olive branch, being that one that says, how do we fix it? Being the one that says, I'm sorry, right? If there's a reason to be sorry, be the bigger, better, leveled up person. And so bravo, my brother. Bravo.
Oh, that was, hey, listen, I represent Team I Am. So I can't be coming back, you know what I'm saying? Like, somebody treated me bad and I snapped on him, you know? And again, it was good. And if you're wondering, I did have a Will Smith joke on that stage. If you're wondering, I had to, because you know me, I like to crack jokes, and you know, nobody told me to keep their wife's name out of their mouth, because if I mention anybody's wife's name, it was to honor her and let the world know how amazing she was. That's about it. But in any case, listen, I'm so proud of each and every one of you in your own lanes. You are about to get really, really busy, and that's good for us, because in this community, we said that we are going to show what we teach, and we were going to apply it all in our own businesses. We were going to be the example of the community, and we were going to build our own individual brands and bring it together within one community to showcase to everybody what is possible, and of course, give them our recipe book on a day-to-day basis. And we're doing exactly just that. So, Debi, there is a possibility that I, can be helping out in your world. Tokoyo, 100%. Awesome. You can count on me 100%. And I cannot wait to hear your results, because the goal is to update our community every single week. Another thing that I will be starting to do is every single episode that we're going to have, we're going to do the, what do you call it? Like the little round lottery thing. And it's going to go from 1 to 100. And then whatever number it stops in, that will be the page number. I'm going to read just one little tiny page of the book. And if that means that I'm going to be reading the whole book by the time we release it, well, so be it. But I cannot wait to share the goodness and see you all. And again, happy birthday to the beloved Princess Allie D's daughter. Out of respect, there you said her name. I was gonna keep it private, but happy birthday to her, Princess. And we cannot wait to see you all at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tag somebody that needs love and motivation. If we need to feature you and your story on the show, let us know. Hit one of us up and say, hey, I watched the show and I definitely have a story to share. Let's talk in private, see if there is valued content, because everybody has a story, but we want to get meat and potato, because there's always something that can be taught. If you are a business and you need to get exposure, if you want to sponsor one of the episodes and you want to get exposure, let us know. Hit us up, or you can just email support@im.media. That is support@im.media. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, Tokoyo, Debi, tell them peace out, everybody.
Peace out.
Guys.
See y'all later. Peace.